Okay, folks, Schneb's back out in the shop. Well, that was incredibly loud, wasn't it? Anyways, we're back out in the shop. We got kind of an interesting one here. This is a Pontiac, Montana, but it's pretty heavily modified because the owner is disabled. So it's a wheelchair accessible van. It has a lift in the back door, so they're having all kinds of problems with different things. I've never worked on this van before, so I have no idea the history of it, what the maintenance is like or anything. It is a bit of an older van, and with the modifications I can understand why they don't want to get rid of it, because it's kind of an expensive thing to set up. So anyway, some of the problems we have: power steering in it. They're saying the steering is making all kinds of noise and it's not working right. Maybe a leak. We'll check the fluid levels and find out. So far, no drops underneath. The electrical system, if they don't leave this thing plugged in after they park it, it's completely stone dead. And just bring it in here, I'm already getting warnings about voltage, so could be an alternator, could be battery. We're gonna have a go at it and see what's up. As well, this has, because of the wheelchair lift stuff and the added weight and everything, like the floors in this thing are lowered and everything, right? There is a compressor in the back, and it's running almost constant, so chances are we have a leak back here somewheres. Okay, so I just ran the code scan on it, my launch scanner, and I got 13 codes. So that's a bit more than I was hoping for. Unfortunately, none of the codes point to any of the symptoms or the problems that I just listed off, so it's all different stuff. ABS wheel sensor over here, typical GM, typical anything really nowadays. EVAP system, always General Motors. This has large leak in EVAP, so you know that'll put your check engine light on pretty much permanently. I'm going to get into what I can. They want to make a fairly lengthy trip down to Florida to visit in-laws. That's like 24 hours flat out from Ontario where we're located. So as of right now, it's definitely in no condition to make that trip. So we got a few things we're going to get into here. It's always fun digging into a car you haven't worked on before, because you never know what you're going to find. Okay, so again, this is most likely got an airbag leak, and you can see the airbag right here. They're totally deflated right now. So we're gonna get both rear wheels off, turn that compressor on, lift it all the way up, and then look for some leaks. Could be a line, could be a small hole in the airbag itself. These do look like they've been around for a while. The whole bottom of the tank, I can smell gas, but this is not gas, this is oil. And see there's a wear mark. And you follow it around on this side, you can see an even deeper wear mark. And those wear marks are from when this airbag is sitting down and they're cutting into this sharp rusty edge right here. Yeah, you can see right there. Same thing, right where it's sitting on that part of the steel. Yeah, this jagged, that's where the spring bucket normally sits. I don't think that's hitting the airbag, but it's not far off. Well, that's what a Montana usually looks like up here after a few years. This has been oil sprayed quite a bit, but you see here there's been a break in the line already once that they've put a patch kit on. Wait till that compressor shuts off and I'll show you. This one, the hole's not where I thought it was. Well, I was hoping for their sake that it was just a piece of the plastic line that had a hole in it, but it turns out both airbags have small pinhole punctures in them. I'm going to have to do some looking into this, because I mean, I can go online and buy airbags, but this is a very specific setup. I guess that's our first check to see if this company's even still in business and to see if they sell replacement airbags. Here's what even further complicates this entire mess, is if I did get aftermarket ones and I had to modify any of these brackets, I cannot weld down here because this gas tank is leaking. You're not here with me, but you can smell the gas right now. Somebody has hacked out part of this cross member here with a Sawzall. That's interesting. Everything's wet. It's hard to tell when the underside of your car looks like that. What is leaking? Seems like everything right now is leaking. I'm gonna dig into this and see what I can figure out. Well, here's the fun one, folks. So while I'm running around looking for leaks, this is what a bad A-arm bushing looks like. When it's split and the bolt is exposed. So somebody replaced the strut, but either the customer don't care about the bushing or they didn't tell them. This is the lines from the power steering cooler here. I don't know what these two hoses are that go up onto there. Oh yeah, there you go. Somebody put it in an aftermarket cooler. Kind of an interesting exposed somewhat place to put that, but I guess what you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, they changed one strut, not the other. Yeah, brakes, only half of the rotor's being even touched. About 60-70% of that one's being touched, and not in a good way. I was saying about the exhaust with the patches. Patch there, patch there, patch there. I'd love to find this power steering leak. I figure if two hose clamps don't work, just add more. Comes a point in every repair where you look at the overall condition of the vehicle and question how much the owner actually cares or can afford. There's been a lot of makeshift repairs done on this vehicle in the past. Anyways, we're going to keep adding to our list here and let the customer know what's going on. Yeah, they did warn me the battery was questionable.
Okay, folks, well, it's been a hot minute. You probably hear my voice. I have a cold. Of course, the kids started school again, so within a week they always come back with something. We've been waiting on the airbags to show up. They're supposed to be out for delivery right now, any minute, hopefully. Kingbolen sent me out a BM550 battery tester. There's a very limited instruction manual that comes with as part of the packaging here. Okay, that's like the back cover, I guess, if you will. Pretty heavy gauge wire by the feel of it. I mean, it's thick. Maybe a little bit short, but honestly, the batteries are typically pretty close anyways. The clamps themselves, pretty heavy duty feeling clamp. It's got some good spring to it. It's got an extra set of gripper jaws in there. And yeah, that's not comfortable. They open wide enough to go over a positive terminal, so that's an important thing. Let's hook this sucker up and see what we can get. You know you're on when you have a light because it's self-powered. There are no batteries. It powers from the battery itself. I'm going to try and do this real steady so you can read it. All right, first thing obviously is the voltage. All right, cold cranking amps, you get that information from the battery. This one is an 800. Right on, look at that. And now it just goes into test. All right, first thing is how many cold cranking amps the battery currently has, and as you can see, 38 is a far cry from 800. You can cycle up or down. State of health, the battery is 0%. State of charge, 3%. This is the internal resistance of your battery, so that's milliohms. 68.47 milliohms is not good. Okay, we're at 12 volts. So if you just put a voltmeter, you go, oh, well, I'm getting 12 volts. Well, yeah, but you're not getting any amperage, so your battery will never turn over. We're going to charge this battery up, come back in an hour and test it again. So that's now showing 125 cold cranking amps after a 1 hour charge and running for 10 minutes. Okay, so that is not good. Voltage is up to 12.7. Again, if all you're doing is testing with a voltmeter, you're going to assume that this battery is good, but it's amperage that matters. Okay, so we're looking at 20.66 milliohms, which is way better than what we got when the battery was dead, but 20.6 is not a great number. Again, you want to be 5 to 10, the lower the better. State of charge, again, is charged for an hour and has just been running. State of charge says 98%. State of health, 2%. Okay, so between the resistance and the low amperage, your battery is at 2%. which is not going to get you to Florida. Okay, here we got a brand new Canadian Tire battery. I've had it maybe, I don't even think, a month. It was in my dump trailer. That's all it's for. I just took it out. It's been on charge for the last hour, just so to make sure it gets a fair shake. Okay, your cold cranking amps. There's your regular amps. 650 is my cold cranking amps. That's the number we want, the 650, not the 800. Let's hook this thing up and see what it tells us. We should get slightly better results off of this one. Okay, we're actually better than normal because it's fresh off charge. So we're 713 cold cranking amps on a 650 battery. 12.98 volts. Internal resistance, like I said, under 5 is what you want. And a 98% state of charge. 100% state of health. That is a good battery. I give it a 2 thumbs up for the price and what you get. It's a fair deal. Pick them up on Amazon, Amazon.ca or Amazon.com. Right around 20-25 bucks. You can't go wrong. That's money well spent in my books. It is Schneeb approved. Okay, folks. Well, our new airbags are in. Don't worry, they look a little different just because these are old and stretched out. The collapse height is actually the same. These are all plastic, whereas the old ones were aluminum. The air goes in the top of this one, but the bottom of this one. So there's no real way to put a air fitting in the bottom, so we're going to try installing these upside down. I don't think it's going to make any real difference. And hope for the best. Okay, so first thing I have to do is expand these because they don't reach up into here unless you do. So once you get the air in, it'll sort itself out. But screw in the bottom. So that just slides through that hole right there. I got an adapter because I could not get the right ones to show up anytime soon. So one finger on each hand on it. Okay, so I'm moving the airline up from this little hole up into there, so it's got a straighter run at the plug. And of course, to drill it, you need something like this because there's no room to get a real drill in here. That one's looking good. Let's do the other side. Yeah, nice battery. The compressor was just running. It filled it up. You can see how much more room there is here. So it's quite a bit higher. I'll show you these airbags inflated. Okay, so there's our airbags nicely inflated. You can see where the new airline hole, so it's a lot straighter than what it was. They look pretty groovy in there. There's the other one, nice and straight. So, there we go. Yeah, it's baggy. Well, now that I'm an airbag expert, right. Again, that's the first time I've worked on airbags since I was probably like 10 or 11 when I think we worked on a van or my dad's tow truck or something. I can't even remember. It's been so long. Okay, well there you go. 2006 Montana with a whole host of customized stuff for wheelchair accessibility. The leaky airbags are fixed. They've been sitting here for a few minutes now. I checked them. Don't hear any air hissing. Compressor, the key is on and the compressor is not running constant like it was before. So that's a 2 thumbs up deal there. The battery, the customer says they think it's under warranty, so they're going to deal with that on their own. Hopefully they do get it changed because it does desperately need to be changed. I hate to hear that they get stranded because they didn't put a battery in it. Anyway, that's it for this one. Like, comment, and subscribe. Time to wash up and go watch a preseason hockey game.